Welcome to another episode of the No Ceilings Podcast. I'm Tyler Metcalf, joined as always by Tyler Rucker. Rucker, how are we hanging in there?
We're back. A little bit of it felt nice to get away. We say it every year, but it's like when you take a couple weeks off, I feel like this has become so, it's like, okay, do I know how to do this? Like, it just is a weird feeling and still need some time to recharge, but I'm hanging in there. I'm doing a little bit better than I was the week until the draft. How about you, Metcalf? How are we holding up?
Oh, day by day. No, I'm good. You know, I'm excited for this 2025 class.
Yes.
We're getting a little lucky with a little more draft content this time of year than usual. Typically, all we get is summer league stuff and, U17 FIBA stuff or U16 FIBA stuff. So, guys who are a couple years away, but, we got a little Cooper Flag with the select team teasings. We got a little VJ Edgecombe dominating with the Bahamas in actual games against adults. That was fun. So, we're getting spoiled a little bit. And then we got Olympic basketball coming up soon. So it's going to be a fun summer.
Yeah, it's the hype's going to be legit. I think everyone's like, please be the class that everyone's hyping up. It's like, no, it's coming. It's going to lay a hammer. It's going to be very awesome. VJ looked awesome. You just had a piece on VJ at NoCeilingsNBA.com. That was fantastic. Cooper had some very fun clips on the internet about playing at Team USA. And then, we've seen Ace Bailey getting after it, even with Rutgers practice. So a lot of the early season reports have been very promising about the 25 class. It's going to be worth the hype. There's always going to be guys that come out of nowhere that we don't know of, like Bub Carrington this year, going to be at Summer League. So I'm very excited for next year. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of announcements, exciting developments that are going to be announced very soon. But yeah, it's going to be a fun year. This year was a nice appetizer. I mean, nice is a big, I don't know if that's the right word, but it was a nice little appetizer for the main concourse next year. I can't even speak now. I'm so tired. So tired. Just need sleep. I don't know how to sleep anymore.
The thing with the 2025 class is that we get to talk about it in the future. They're tomorrow's problem or joy or excitement, whatever you want to classify it as. We're still focused on the 2024 class and some of the 2023 and maybe even some of the 2022 class because it is summer league time. We are previewing and recapping a little bit of this year's summer league, this episode. So we've gotten a handful of games already. They've been a lot of fun. And this next week or two of Vegas Summer League should be a blast. Unfortunately, we can't make it out there this year, but everyone who's out there, it's a blast. Have fun, network, talk to everyone. It's a really good time. Next year, we'll be there. But let's talk about some of these games that have already happened and just kind of go through team by team. And we're going to use your kind of outline that you have going up over at NoCeilingsNBA.com Friday morning as just kind of a guide to walk us through it all. So let's start with some of the, also, if you want to keep reading up on this and get a in-person perspective and recap, Nick had a fantastic piece up at NoCeilingsNBA.com. Shameless plug number 3 of the night. Let's go. Because he was at the California Classic, seeing those teams up in person. Really great perspective. Highly recommend going to check that out as well. All right. Rucker, let's start with the games that already happened. Let's talk about some actual basketball that was played. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, it's been fun with these. I always like the California Classic, the Salt Lake City Classic, whatever they end up bringing to the table. I like it. It's kind of like a little preview of getting ready for Vegas Summer League. It is funny. It's going to be the first year, probably the only year that we're not going to be there. But well, I have a feeling a lot of us are going to be viciously watching at home. It's a good year to take off. We need to reset some stuff. But you tell me. I want you to set it off because I'm excited to just talk basketball. Like I've been aching to talk about the draft and now where these guys are at, and now that they're summer league, like this is what I love to do. So where do you want to start? Tip it off.
Let's have some fun. I want to be excited about this because these are two guys that I really liked all year throughout the draft process. Let's start with the Philadelphia 76ers and Adem Bona and Jared McCain showing out. My God, do they look good. And yes, I know it's just summer league, but we're having fun here, people. We're not making these guys all-stars after summer league. We're not doing that, but we're having fun. And we're going to appreciate guys who actually show out and play well.
Yeah, but like, can I be a jerk about that too? This does matter. Like, summer league does matter. No, because people will be like, it's summer league, it doesn't matter. It does. You could see in history that this is important for guys to get these reps. Last year, Brandon Miller had a very disappointing summer league, but he also knocked some rust off to kind of get a feel and understand what it was like. That carried over into the season. He had a great season. The opposite side of that, Scoot Henderson gets the second half of his first game in summer league, misses out on all those reps, misses out on camp.
Thompson got hurt in the first half of that game.
Amen Thompson. So it's like, I always say you just need reps, like, because for those guys that just got drafted, like, you've been working out for teams, you've been doing the media frenzy. You need to just get back to playing basketball. So I think these games are important for that. Do we obsess over stats? No, but it's nice to see when guys can hit the ground running. I thought McCain looked awesome, and I thought Bona looks right now like, I was like, you idiot, Rucker. Like, you love this guy for the last 2 years. Why did you cool off on him? And then I bought back in way too late. And I was just like, it was one of those prospects where I was like, I've liked him. I'm going to believe. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But he looks like the perfect backup with upside that you're just like, we got him in the second round. I'm ecstatic. So I think Philly looks like they got two fantastic guys to move forward with.
Yeah, I agree. And something that I like to kind of keep an eye out for in summer league is do these guys get put in kind of different positions than what we saw all year from them. And I think McCain early, while he's not necessarily playing point guard, we're seeing some more kind of playmaking stuff from him that if you really bought into him, you liked to begin with. And there have been flashes of that. I mean, that lob to Bona, this nice little drive and dump where he changes the release angle, plays with some physicality, gets to his spot. Really fantastic stuff. Now, again, I'm not saying that he's going to be their lead point guard, but when you think about him kind of growing and developing, using that shooting gravity to attack closeouts, run the second side pick and roll, he's showing that kind of stuff right now. And to do that right away in your first summer league with guys that you've never really played with before, that's fun. And that's stuff that Sixers fans and NBA fans should be getting excited about. We knew he was going to shoot the crap out of it. He's doing that. But now that he's showing some of the mid-range pull-up stuff, some of, continuing to grow with his at-rim finishing craft, showing off some of that playmaking stuff, that's where it's like, okay, Jared McCain looks like he's going to be a steal. And then you think about Adem Bona and just the physicality, the energy, the rim running, the shot blocking that he's going to provide off the bench, whether he's probably going to start out as the third center in the rotation. It wouldn't surprise me if he kind of supplants Drummond as a backup big by the end of the year, because his game's really simple. You don't really have to tailor much to him. And he does so much of the stuff that most players can't and don't want to do.
McCain, this isn't an overreaction. I thought this the night of the draft when he fell to Philly. I was like, there's a chance he's going to be the best value pick in this first round. And it just goes to like what me and you have been talking about all year. Like I've absolutely loved him because I just think there's all these areas in his game that don't come out at once. Like you all of a sudden see now the playmaking. We saw the rebounding at Duke. They deal with some injuries, and all of a sudden, its 3-point shooting comes alive. And I just have always felt he's the guy you can drop in with any four guys on a court, and he's gonna understand how to play a role, how to make everyone better, find the right team, or find the open man. And now you're seeing that early in summer league where you're like, I mean, both those assists you just showed on screen for the YouTube army, like both of those left hand, like moving back to the left hand on that second one. So he's just got great feel. I think good awareness offensively. Everyone's been this is one of those guys we just overthink because we're like, well, he's undersized. And it's like the rebounding should have made us feel like Jared McCain's a dog. And I know everyone talks about like, oh, the TikTok videos. He is a dog on the court. He's a hell of a competitor. So I've loved what I've seen from him. I think him and Maxey could be a fantastic duo together. I know that's a little undersized, but we've talked about this all year. Like the NBA's now like just get two guards that can run the show and kind of play off each other in the backcourt. You can present some headaches. And what did you think about Bono? I feel like they're playing him in a zone a lot, and I almost felt like
he's gotten called for a handful of defensive 3 seconds.
Why are they doing it? Am I wrong? Idea. I feel like the most intriguing. I had someone reach out to me about this actually, and I was like, I felt like the best thing me and you liked about Bono was him playing man on the perimeter because you don't realize how quick he can be. So that was like I watched the last game and I was like, they really are hammering this home. I was like, I feel like you're almost taking away the best asset.
I mean, my guess is just because they don't have a ton of size outside of that, where if you have him blitzing out to half court and they put up a 3-pointer, the only guys that you have kind of rebounding are Jeremy Kane, Justin Edwards, Doughton Jr., and Ricky Council. So it's like you're probably giving up a ton of offensive boards there.
Yeah.
So I again, it's summer league. You're just trying.
Yeah, stuff. Right. You're trying stuff.
He is not used to the defensive 3 seconds call because he's gotten called for it a handful of times. A couple other names with the 76ers, Justin Edwards, Ricky Council, who I think has had a fantastic summer league, really showing that he can kind of be that spark plug scorer. Again, I don't expect him to get major minutes, but if he keeps this up through Vegas, it'd be like, all right, here's a roster spot, because he feels like one of these guys that you can bring in off the bench. If the shot's falling that night, awesome. Here's 12 quick points in 4 minutes.
Yeah, I've got, as if people are listening to this now, if they're listening in the morning, I have my annual TV guide for Summer League. I go down every roster. I go down as many players as I can. I've apologized to our editor, Nick, like 5 times. It got way out of hand. It's like very lengthy, but I wanted to do in-depth on every team. And I got to Ricky Council. At the end of it, I did my first ever Too Good for Summer League teams. And I did 2 teams, and when I was doing the Sixers preview, I got to Ricky Council, and I look into like how the guys did throughout the year, and his G League numbers were nice. And then we liked Ricky coming in as a prospect just because of his mentality and his athleticism. Awesome athlete. And if the 3-point shots come in, like, that's a great rotation asset with some microwave ability. So he's looked very good. He's looked just what you're expecting of like, oh, we found a good one. We found some good value. So I'm right there with you. I think this is a potential guy that's going to earn a roster spot if he keeps this up. He's just also tough. He's what you want in a young guy that's like, he's going to be fearless. And I've liked the development I've seen from Ricky. He takes a couple shots where I'm like, interesting, but I love that you're aggressive and feeling good that you can hit that. He hit one the other night. It was kind of like a screw you 3, just like guy was just being lazy, and he's like, all right, I'll take this. So I like how Ricky's looked. I think their teams look very exciting, and they got a lot of pieces that might need to be stepping up in the rotation with how much talent they're going to have, Paul George and everything.
All right, moving on to the Utah Jazz, who are absolutely loaded in these games in terms of summer league talent. So their starting lineup has been, or at least in 2 of their 3, I think, games, Walker Kessler, Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Bryce Sensabaugh, Cody Williams. Would it be totally shocking to you if that's their starting lineup at the end of the year?
A little.
But
I think Cody's going to be very good with the Salt Lake City Stars this year.
Right, but
I don't mean that in a bad way. But it wouldn't shock me
to be a top 10 pick to keep it, or else it's going to OKC. There are talks of Laurie being moved.
I know the Laurie stuff.
Sexton.
Danny doesn't just.
I know. I'm just saying.
I know Danny. Everyone's like, just trade. I'm like, Danny's not. Danny wants you to give him,
it's more than a 0% chance.
$1 for 50 cents. It's more than a 0% chance. I think the Kings traded DeRozan, kind of lowered a contender for him seriously. Yeah, they're going to get to a point where they're going to be like, let's sell. But yeah, I love what they're doing. I love their draft again.
Yeah.
I love the flashes. Like, I watched that Jazz game last night. Loved what I saw from Taylor Hendricks. I think he's right on schedule. Yes, overreaction, but I heard good things about his offseason. And then you're starting to see it with Taylor, with guys like that. You just want to see a little bit of a step forward. Like, I'm not needing Taylor to all of a sudden become like an on-ball creator. I just want to see him trending with some confidence. I don't know. What were your takeaways? I mean, Keontae looks like
he's
what he should.
Maybe one game in Vegas, and
yeah.
that'll be it. The shot
over unders one.
Yeah, 0.5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's dropped,
that might be right.
I think he's dropped 30 in both the games he played. The shot hasn't been super efficient or consistent yet, but he's getting to the free throw line whenever the fuck he wants. I mean, his craft, his creativity, his on-ball creation, it's so much better. And then the fact that he's continuing to grow as a passer, like we saw from between IMG and Baylor, and then Baylor to rookie at Utah. And now he's taking that extra step yet again, whereas, 5 turnovers in their last game, but also 5 assists. So he's a young player who's never consistently played point guard, so that's going to happen. But some of the passes that he's making, and then the craft and the creation out of the pick and roll, and he's drawing fouls a ton. And he had 12 free throws in their last game. I think he had 19 the game before that. Drew 16 fouls in that game. It was like, holy shit. Like, what are you doing? So, it always helps when the defense, when you get 10 fouls in summer league, but the just steps in terms of on-ball creation, it's really exciting with him.
He looks awesome. I think I'm more obsessed with his ability and recognition now to get to the free throw line, draw fouls, than the field goal percentage. His shot's going to be there. I'm still pissed at Scott Drew. Shout out Scott. What happened with Keontae that year? Like, whatever they did, clearly it's working now. But he looked fantastic as a rookie. I think obviously we're going to point to like the conditioning. The body just got fantastic shape. He kind of bought into being like, okay, I could be a playmaker, like more of a point guard. I just think Keontae looks like a potential breakout star for, he was having a great rookie year, or he did have one. Now I feel like he's going to take it up to another level and kind of cement himself as the guy moving forward. So I've loved what I've seen from him, but I think getting to the free throw line that much has been the most pleasant development so far at Summer League.
Yeah, and then just I think Isaiah Collier has looked fantastic, which, some of those pre-draft reports or rumors that we heard going around, it's like, all right, gotta make note of that for next year. But yeah, and he looks really good. He looks like a massive steal at this point. Obviously, yes, I know Summer League, but it's exciting. That's what you want to see from him. And then Kyle Filipowski's struggled, I thought. Always tough when the shot doesn't fall, but that's kind of been the continuing theme these last 2 years. I'm really intrigued that they're playing him mostly at 4 and playing him alongside Kessler a lot. I think that's really interesting going forward, and kind of just speaks to how they might view him long term. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a good nickname for Kessler and Filipowski. During the game, I was like, there's a Twin Towers nickname here that I can't, like, I need to workshop it. So if anyone listening wants to throw me some ideas, my DMs are open. But yeah, I thought he looks like he's struggling a little bit. Kessler's going to be interesting. All this buzz about the rumors. Yeah. I thought he's had some moments. Sensaball's had some moments. He's also had a couple plays where I had a time, like every time I've looked up at the TV at some points where like Sensaball is getting the ball taken from him. And I'm like, does he just have 900 turnovers? And then he does some good stuff. So,
and he could buy a shot in their last game, and he was just getting frustrated.
I like their team. I like the pieces you have. I really like what I've seen from Collier. I feel like he's sort of figuring out not to press the issue a little bit. So I think they got another steal. Him and Keontae, you got fantastic values. So I like what they're building. I think just Utah fans, be patient. Danny's just building assets. Just keep getting guys, and then you'll figure out what happens. And all of a sudden you strike gold next year. You're really going to be cooking with something. But I think Keontae and Taylor have been the big 2 guys for me there. I'm like, whew, fantastic.
I tend to agree there. All right, let's move on to the...
Well, tend to? Do you have someone that stood out to you more?
No,
Okay.
I think Taylor's just kind of been solid. He hasn't wowed me.
He had one
Deontay's
game where I
been
was like,
the big
oh,
one.
man. Yep.
Cody has struggled, but he kind of looks like he's looked in at the beginning of a new setting, like he has in the last 2 years, where he's just kind of hesitant and shy and second guessing himself. So it's nothing new with him. I don't think it should be a total surprise. I'm not really worried about it long term. But all right, let's move on to the Memphis Grizzlies after a quick break. Okay, Memphis Grizzlies Summer League team highlighted by Gigi Jackson and Zach Edey. Edey looked good. Gigi's looked like Gigi.
Next. No, I'm kidding. Edey looked good. Edey looked good. He looked very, very like he's going to be a perfect fit for what they need. Gigi, I had like the first game, I was like, oh, are we still the same? And then the second game, I feel like he's going to be fine. I think Gigi's just going to keep getting better, keep figuring it out. But I thought Edey looked great. Just kept battling. The missed dunk to end it was really bad. And then all of a sudden he had some fantastic other plays. So what did you think of Edey?
I thought he looked really good. Just his drop coverage, just the way he takes up that entire lane. He tries. Who is that? Kessler tries to kind of clear him out on the post up here, and Edey just kind of shrugs him off like, "You tiny little man, get out of my way." And it's a great block, and that's what we're going to see from him probably all year. That's what we saw all throughout college, where when he can get in that drop, where the kind of roller can't necessarily get in behind him and he gets caught in the middle in that no man's land, he's really effective. And the way he's moving his feet here is fantastic. It's exactly what he did all year. It's what you want to see from him. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like against all NBA level guys, all-star level guys. And, even more seasoned pick and roll creators than Keontae, even though Keontae was fantastic in this game. But if you're a Grizzlies fan, that's what you want to see from the big man.
Yeah, you know what it's gonna be, Metcalf, is we're gonna keep being like, okay, now let's see it against the NBA guys, and then we're gonna be like, okay, let's see it against Dame Lillard. Like, we're just gonna keep being like, you gotta convince me.
Playoffs, and
then let's see in the playoffs.
Finals.
But that's you're going right into his wheelhouse if you let him do that. You've got to either make it an obvious switch or you've got to get that guard away. But I think also like they're gonna try to prepare for that. But I just think he looks great. I think he's much more mobile than people think. He landed in a great spot.
Yep.
Like he landed in a perfect spot. I know, like I've been saying all year, like, hey, I wouldn't be taking him that early. But when it got to Memphis, it was like, okay, this could be a spot. And, heard that he could have been going right after that if he didn't go. So very interesting. I think he looks great early on. It's funny because he had like a bigger jersey. So I was like, did he lose a ton of weight? But I think it was just the NBA jersey's much bigger than the college one. So I thought he looked great. I think he's going to be a heck of a piece moving forward.
Okay, let's move on to the Thunder. And I think the main names here to keep an eye on going into Vegas and from these initial games are Ousmane Dieng, AJ Mitchell, and Dylan Jones, who they've all kind of had some of their up and downs, especially with their shooting or scoring efficiency or consistency. But their mindset, their approach, I've really liked it from all three of them.
Yeah, I'm, the third year is always like, if you're the third year and you're going to Summer League, I always feel like, okay, you need to show something. Like, and I feel like Dieng, it's such a big year for him. And he's still so young. So it's like, I would get being still patient, but I feel like there's a real opportunity for him to like earn some actual minutes in the rotation just because of his skill set and everything. So I think it's a big one. I just need him to be some more consistent from outside. Like, I don't think I want him to understand he doesn't need to score a ton for this team. He just needs to be able to space the floor at 6'10" and offer some defense. Like, so I don't know. One of the guys I wrote, I was like, I'm really interested to watch how he looks because he
Right, but
does have his up and downs
this
in
is
games.
exactly the setting that he should be trying a lot of this stuff out and
Yeah, yes,
going
absolutely.
head to head with his peers and being able to experiment a little more with some of the on-ball stuff. But yeah, I mean, in the regular season, if or when he gets minutes for the actual Thunder team, it's going to be in a 3-and-D role. It's going to be, can you knock down corner threes? Can you defend at a high level? Can you make the right read? And I think that when you kind of strip away some of the shooting inconsistencies, we're still seeing a lot of that really positive stuff from him too.
But like, say you're Presti or Mark. Are you watching him in the third summer league and being like, I would rather him try stuff, or would you
already?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or would you, at this point, would you rather be like, I want him to be showing that he understands what he's going to do? Like, do you want him making smart shots when he's open for three, moving the ball? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, where would you be at? Where you'd be like, I want him to understand, like, this is his role. Or do you want him to just be like, just play free and keep trying stuff? Because I think I would want a little bit more of a shift towards, like, this is the type of player you're going to be to get minutes. You got to play tough defense. You know what I'm trying to say?
I would want him to show what he improved on in the offseason. I would want him to show, all right, has your pull-up jumper improved? Has your handle improved? Has your decision-making and passing vision improved? Has the defensive consistency improved? Show me that kind of stuff. And then if all of those things or any of those things have taken a big leap, then it's a lot easier to kind of pivot that stuff into a lesser role than vice versa, where I mean, at a base minimum, I mean, he was in the G League for almost the entire season last year. So, I mean, it's not like he's entering the season with the expectation of starting or getting 30 minutes a night, where they have a pretty established rotation. And he's not going to be getting minutes over Caruso, Dort, Aaron Wiggins. Like, those are guys who are Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace. They've all established their role in this lineup. So he's got to figure out ways that he can make an impact. And has his ball skills improved to a point where he could kind of step into some of those Josh Giddey minutes from last year, where he can provide some of that size on defense and knock down, open shots and attack closeouts and make the defense respect him. So that would be how I would want to be approaching this summer league with him.
Yeah, I get it. I'd want you to be spending the summer being, obviously, if you're trying to develop him into a specific type of player that could help you guys out, you're trying to be like, hey, we'd like you to work on this. Yeah. We'd like you to work on this. So I would want to see that. And then also like, okay, what else have you been working on? So just a big year for him, but he's also still so young. Like, and the G League numbers were really impressive. It's just the 3-point percentage, I feel like, needs to get a little bit more, reasonable, but he's got talent. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. But, Dylan and AJ look pretty damn good. They look good.
They're also both older college prospects, so they should. Like, this isn't totally unfamiliar territory for them in terms of who they're going up against, because a lot of it is them going up against guys who are the same age, if not younger than them already, which is what they did all throughout college.
Well, and, I think there's a big part of you're a lower level guy that's playing, and you are the guy. There's no doubt about it. You're the clear cut guy. AJ at Santa Barbara and Dylan at Weber State, and now all of a sudden you get a lot of talent. No, I'm like, no disrespect to those guys' teammates, but now you're getting crazy talent around you. So they've had these high number of assist games, and it's like, well, one, they've been doing this. This is what's part of their ability. Two, now everything's a lot easier because you don't have all that attention, and floor looks a lot bigger when you're not getting three guys in your face. So I think I love those additions. I think some people were shocked at the Dylan pick, but we've said it before. Like, one team's going to fall in love with the idea of his offensive weaponry and how unique his skills are. AJ, I thought, was just a tremendous value in the second round, but I've also been just higher on his ability. But looks like another good class. OKC got another fun trio of picks. I still think Topic was fantastic for them too.
All right, let's move on. Do you want to go to the Heat or the Lakers?
Can Can we get the Lakers? So we're just going through who's played, and then we'll have fun with everyone for Viva Las Vegas. Let's go through the Lakers so we can get this one out of the way.
Okay.
What did you think?
I think the names worth keeping an eye on are Castleton, Max Lewis, Bronny, and Dalton Connect. I think Castleton, I think there's a real chance that he should get minutes next year.
Why is he still they re-signed him for a two-way? Why is he not on the roster? He can play.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good
I watched
defender.
him last year.
A little bit. He's a good passer.
He blocks shots. Like, what is he? Just he's tall and white, and they're like, two-way. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I've watched him last summer league. I was like, Castleton could play. He's got a lot of skill. I've watched some times in the G League. He had some big numbers some nights in the G League. I was like, what are they doing? Play this kid. Like, this is good backup.
Like 5 to 10 minutes. Why not? Like, what? Like, I believe they still have Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes on the roster. I could be wrong in that, but when you look at their center depth, it's like, well, how can Castleton not get 5 minutes a night?
I probably prefer Castleton at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, he does have skill. He's got the upside to shoot it a little bit, like, but there's playmaking, there's good field defensively, there's good awareness, like, and he's big. Like, I just don't like. I saw I think they re-signed him to another two-way. I was like, what else he's got to do? So I don't know.
Yeah, and we got D Steven confirming in the chat that Hayes and Wood are still on the team. Based on what they gave him last year, could have fooled me. So why not? Why not?
I don't know. I just every time I watch him, I'm like, dude, this guy could play. I'd have him on the roster. End of the roster? Like, come on. Like, I love Lou Cornett. Castleton can be your Lou Cornett. He could be your third string big that actually gives you a couple good minutes, like 5 to 10, like you're saying. Like, why not? So
yeah. The other one, Max Lewis, I've been really intrigued with. The kind of scoring consistency isn't quite there, but some of the kind of shifty on-ball creation, just nasty jab step from him. I really like some of the kind of playmaking and offensive creation stuff that he continues to show. He's just got to get way more consistent, and the defense is still just what it is.
I've liked what I've seen from him. No, let me preface this. I liked what I've seen from him because it looks like it's going forward. Like, it looks like we're trending in the right direction. He might need another year in the G. He probably does, especially with the mentality of the Lakers team this year is probably going to be like, we need to make a run at this. But, like, I loved the first game I've watched of Max. I was like, things are going positive right now because he looked more fluid. He looked more assertive of, like, with the ball in his hands of, like, what he wanted to do. I was like, just clearly the tools look like they're coming together. I think his frame just it looks way smoother than when he was at Pepperdine. So I like it. I'm right there with you. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done consistently, but, like, offensively, he's got fucking fun upside. Yeah. It's just like you got to be patient, and he might be a second team guy. He might be, but I still think the upside's very, very fun.
Could he have a Karis LeVert-esque career path?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it's going to be with the Lakers, but he's going to have a moment. Like, someone's eyeing him as like, all right, we might get him for cheap on that when he becomes a free agent if the Lakers don't re-sign him. But also, like, if I was Lakers, like, post LeBron era, I would want to just keep Max around for, like, post that, and then you can maybe let him run a little bit and see what you got. But he also might be the, we just talked about Ousmane Dieng. He might be that third year guy where you're just like, okay, this is the leap. So I still like, that's what I like to see the most at Summer League is, like, are you clearly taking a step forward? And I feel like Max is. It just might not be ready for NBA minutes, but I like what I've seen.
Bronny, I think some of the defensive stuff has been solid. Offense, he looks really sped up. He looks like a late second-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a guy that we thought, he looks a couple of years behind. Like, he just looks really behind in his development. He looks like he needs to spend the whole, which is understandable. We all expected this. We're realistic. And he looks like a guy that needs to spend the whole year in the G League.
Yep.
And probably most of next year. Like, he just needs reps. I think everyone's having fun with that. I've seen a lot of graphics after his first game when he had like 2 points. I was like, wow, ballsy. I can't spend time on that. I would love him to go to the G League and just start to feel good. Like, just get back to focusing on just playing. Mm-hmm. So,
he just needs reps. We've said that with a lot of these guys, but he looks sped up. He's going to have to pivot into more of a point guard role eventually. And the best way to do that, get reps, figure out the speed and physicality of the game, and play through your errors. Can't really do that with the Lakers. He'll be able to in the G League. Dalton Connect kind of started to figure stuff out in their last game. I thought his game before that, his couple games before that, looked pretty rough.
It's tough for the shooters. Summer League's tough for those guys because college, you were getting looks, your timing with everything, coming off screens, or the windows were much bigger. Even when they were tight windows, they seemed bigger because of your ability to get a shot off. Now in the NBA, it's much like I always feel like Summer League's bad for those first year shooters because you're just like, wait, the timing's off. I'm not as open as I was coming off screens. So I feel like I wasn't surprised, but I also feel like with those guys, one game, just all of a sudden you're like, all right, I got it back. I feel like if he keeps trending in the right direction, I'm going to be like, Dalton's going to be fine. He might have that one game where it's like the second game in Vegas that he blows up and you're like, oh, here he is. But I'm right there with you. I feel like he kind of looked like, oh, it's a little rough. But I just always, like Grady Dick, I feel like was similar last year. Jet Howard, we saw struggle a couple times. No, well, Jet Howard too. Like, I think it's just you have to figure out the timing and like how to get open in different ways because everything's a little sped up. Guys are more physical. So I'm not worried about Dalton. I think JJ Redick's going to have fun with him.
I'm more so not worried about him in the actual NBA. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he kind of struggles all summer league, just because I think in the NBA he's not going to be that high volume on ball creator, primary scoring option that he was at Tennessee. That's just not. He's not that type of on ball creator, but he's a lethal off ball shooter. He's a lethal kind of secondary, tertiary creator where he can attack closeouts, attack defensive rotations, mismatches, that kind of stuff. And this team just doesn't have someone to create any of those looks for him. So it's understandable. But when you kind of think about him playing off of LeBron and AD and Austin Reeves, then it's like, oh, okay, you're going to be the kind of forgotten man over there on the weak side. And you're going to be able to feast a lot in those situations, a lot more than in these situations where you have guys who are a step up in terms of size, athleticism, defensive capabilities, and what you're used to, and fighting for jobs. So I think he's going to be fine, but hasn't been great. Miami Heat, Keyshawn Johnson, Zion Pullen, Khalil Ware, Pella Larson. Any of those names doing anything for you?
There's rumblings potentially Jaime Jaquez now in Vegas.
Oh, that feels unnecessary.
Feels unnecessary. He was playing with Team USA Select, but there was rumblings that he's getting added. I'm going to have to wait to confirm. I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe for a game. I'm not believing it. A lot of those I don't believe until you step on the court. Maybe he's going for just practices or whatever.
Okay.
Cool. Ware looks good. Ware looks like he's going to be... No, would you stop it? What is with you? You're unbelievable. With do you have a Khalil Ware hater shirt or a club?
No, I root for everybody.
I think Ware looks good. I think he looks like a fantastic depth piece with upside.
His second game, he was fantastic.
Yeah, the second game, he was fantastic. I think we're going to get those games, though. He's just lengthy as shit out there. You forget how lengthy he is. He's huge. So I think he's going to be good for them. Hishad, I'm so angry. I'm so angry he landed with the Heat. Like it was one of the first undrafted guys reported that I saw, and I was like, "Come on, anyone other?" But I'm also happy for him because they're just going to be like, "Perfect. This is the perfect guy. That's the eighth guy in our rotation. That's just nasty. That eventually is going to be a guy that probably helps you win a couple games in a playoff series." Not saying as a rookie. I'm just saying that's the type of player he's going to develop into. I wonder if he might have some Jay Crowder to his potential, like a career like that, where he just keeps being a desired guy for your rotation. But anyone else, or what did you think, or anybody else that kind of stuck out to you?
No, I think Keyshawn looks fantastic. This is also a setting that he should be thriving in, just given his age and athleticism. That this chaotic setting is exactly where he should thrive. But good on him for capitalizing on that. And I do think he's going to translate. And I think we both had him as like a top 50 guy by draft time. He's good. It's just that simple. So it won't shock me if he carves out a role at the end of the bench or end of rotation and gets, a few minutes a night throughout the season, because he can just do a little bit of everything at a competent level. And with your ninth guy, why not? Where has looked really good in spurts. He's just one of these guys that I overly nitpick. And there are still, I just can't get Hassan Whiteside out of my head. And Hassan Whiteside made a ton of money, put up good numbers, but he chased a lot of stuff and had to be set up and put in the exact spot to succeed. And I don't know. That's who I'm struggling with, because there are a lot of some of pick and roll coverages and help side stuff that it's like, you're just not there. You're not where you need to be. Again, he's a rookie. I get it. If there's the best team to get the absolute most out of him, it's Miami. So I really hope that we get that, because if things really start to click for him, especially if they start to click really quickly, if they throw out him and Bam out there together, that's going to be a really, really fun kind of just rebounding and defensive pair.
Yeah, I think they should. Not right away. I think Bam will.
And I think where we'll have to be proved that he can shoot it a little bit too for that to work.
Bam's going to be a heck of a teacher. You're talking about a defensive player of the year candidate every year, and it's going to be a couple weeks into training camp and where it's going to learn a bundle of tricks. So I think it's a great fit. I've been wanting Miami to draft like a big to give Bam some breathing room sometimes for years. And I think this is a really good one that you could unlock some levels to his game. I think it's a great fit. So I'm excited to see him at summer. I mean, I'm not going to see him at summer, but I want to see him get some more reps, get some playing time, see what he can do.
Absolutely. Okay, let's jump over to the Spurs. For me, the only name that really stood out was Steph Castle. I thought he looks fantastic.
Yeah, we're like 40 minutes in, and I know we're going to want to talk about like every team, but the Castle hour right now might be really exciting. I think he looks great. I don't care about the game he went 0 for 6 from downtown.
No, I do. I do. I love that.
Actually, yeah, I take that back.
We got 6. We got the volume.
The first game I watched, he passed up. He was looking really good. He passes up an open 3. I wanted to break my damn TV because I was like, but then literally he came down right away and pulled a 3. And I was like, I know what that timeout was. That was a coach saying, shoot the damn ball. Like, shoot it, because he was so wide open. And then I think he pulls this, or he passed that, and I was like, great pass, shoot the damn ball. Yeah, that was when he traveled. Then he comes down and hit one from, like, the logo, and then hit another 3 later, like, just pulled it off of, like, an initial ball screen. And I was just like, oh, baby. Like, that one right there, I was like, woo, that's the high school kid I saw. So he looks awesome. He made some reads, Metcalf. He made some decisions that I was like, oh my gosh, he threw a corner 3. I don't think it was Harrison Ingram. He threw a corner 3 to someone, and I was just like, oh man, the feel to see that one come alive. I think he looks awesome. Spurs fans should be pumped out of their mind.
He looks so good. And I love
that one. Yep, that was.
You gotta let that fly.
Is that Harrison? Yeah, Harrison passed that up. But he threw another one too, where it was just like he threw someone open. I was like, that's just feel and anticipation. He looks awesome.
Yeah, let me try and find it because I have a video waiting in the wings on his first game and how he improved throughout the game. So I have all these clips ready to go. This one I love. Just a little manipulation of that weak side defender. Don't get the bucket, but that's exactly what you want from him.
But yeah, he'll be throwing that to 7-5 instead next time.
Exactly.
But okay, let's be serious here. Yeah. Let's play devil's advocate. As good as you're expecting, or do we have beer goggles on? Because me and you both love them.
I'm sure there's a certain amount of kind of confirmation bias that's leaking into our
I'm not.
Evaluation
I watch and I'm like, hey, am I an idiot?
No, I know.
Like I'm right away. I'm like, was I an idiot? I know the answer, but I still say it.
And there were stretches in that first game, especially where it's like, oh, what are you doing? Whereas, like, I think their very first possession, he had a pick and roll, and he just kind of barreled into the rim protector and threw up an off-balance shot that didn't go in. It's like, what was that? Like, that was rushed. That was impatient. Like, you had a little floater that you didn't take. There's no craft there. And then for the rest of the game, they ran pick and roll after pick and roll after pick and roll, and he made the right decision and executed it every single time. It's like, holy crap. So is he a point guard? Don't care. Don't want to have that discussion. But the Spurs are figuring out.
He is.
Sure.
I'm telling you, I'm watching what he's doing right now. He makes the right reads. He puts people in position to succeed. Sure. But I don't care either. I'm right there with you. I don't care.
The point
Just
is
keep him on the damn
primary
court.
decision maker.
Yes.
You want the ball. You want him being the first or second guy making the decision and initiating stuff on the court. If that's your point guard, if you want to throw a label on it, cool. The Spurs, guess how many what percent of his possessions are pick and roll?
Oh, right now in Summer League?
Yeah. It's only like 2-3 games, so it's a small sample, but it's like 38% of his possessions.
Yeah, I was going to say 40.
Which is double what it was last year. And more than double his next closest possession type. So the Spurs are very clearly trying to figure out and put him in position to learn and figure out, all right, how much on-ball creation, how much decision-making, playmaking is there? And how real is this? How much room left is there to go? He's not going to be an awesome shooter this year, but the fact that he's taken 10 in 2 games is really encouraging. A couple in that second game where he went 0 for 6 were grenades at the end of the shot clock. It's fine. He has some small mechanical things that he has to work out on the shot. I'm not worried about it. I think he's going to be an average shooter for his career, and it's going to be more than enough.
The defense looks great. He's still getting downhill. He's bullying people. That's why, like, everyone's obsessing about, like, well, he doesn't separate and stuff. And it's like, there's different ways to create. You can use your body, your frame to get into people, to back them down, to get to the basket, have feel around the basket. Yes, you can be Jamal Crawford and create all of the windows and separation in the world. Or you can be an asshole and get downhill and just tell people, I'm stronger than you. I'm getting to the basket. He's fantastic at getting to the basket, knowing where to find, windows in the defense to sneak in he had like an emphatic dunk against one team. Like, I just think the dude can play. Yeah. You're getting a phenomenal teacher coming in Chris Paul that is going to, like, Castle is everything the Spurs like. He's just a dude that wants to hoop. He doesn't care about, he just wants to get better. He's a hard worker. Chris Paul's going to be in his ear early, and Castle's going to pick up a ton of stuff. And you're already seeing some of the pick and roll, stop, get someone on your back, read. He had a floater one time. He had a beautiful dish the other time. He just gets it. And I laughed at people that are like, he's not that good of a playmaker. I'm like, give me a break. So I love what I've seen from him. I don't care about the shot right now. Like, I think it's just, if you're shooting it with confidence, beautiful. And that first game I watched of him, when he pulled that 3, it was nothing but net, and then all of a sudden pulled one later right off of just, I have a small window, hit it. I was like, here we go. This is exactly what you want to see. So I think he looks great.
Yeah, and I could care less about efficiency numbers in Summer League. It doesn't matter to me.
I don't care.
I'm all about,
go look at Brandon Miller's.
What is the process in Summer League? and I'm really enjoying what Castle is putting out there. Okay, let's move on. Any thoughts on either of the Kings teams, the Warriors, the Hornets? I didn't particularly enjoy watching any of these.
Yeah, I love all of you guys. Hornets, the Bryce McGowan's just signed a 2-way with Portland. So that was interesting because they didn't. Yeah, congrats to that.
They've been a rough watch.
Well, Charlotte's going to get some reinforcements in Vegas, we're hoping. I don't know if anyone's going to be healthy, but I know Saloon was banged up. They were keeping him out of the California Classic. KJ signed a 2-way. I think he might not be playing, though.
It looks like he has a hamstring injury, at least according to our friend James Plowright.
Thank you, James. There is also one name on Charlotte that is surprisingly on the roster, and that is Mr. Brandon Miller.
That's so one and done.
Yeah, he's with Keontae. He's got an over and he's probably a one and done for sure. Trying to think Warriors. Warriors are tough because Pods and TJD just played their first game, so I'm more wanting to see them in Vegas. And I can't judge them after they just spent a week and change with playing against. I don't think those games were probably too fair, scoring wise. They're playing for the Team USA select team. Any thoughts of Keon Ellis looks good. He looks
another guy
just
I was kind of surprised to see playing because it's like, aren't you going to be starting for the Kings next year? I guess
I think they're still thinking Malik Monk.
No, Monk's their sixth man.
Well, they just paid him a lot, so I think they're thinking that, and then it's gonna slowly shift to we like defense to start out the game. I'm a little shocked, but I also think it's one of those like just keep building off the momentum you just had in the playoffs, and he looked good. He had a very big game last game. Thought I wanted to see a little bit more from Colby Jones, but we'll wait and see. Anyone else stand out to you?
Nick Smith was pretty rough. Castle's dicing him up in the pick and roll quite a bit, and if his shot's not falling, I liked some of the stuff that we saw from him in his rookie year, especially in terms of shooting it. He looks bigger, he looks stronger, which is really encouraging. So just another one of these guys where it's like, just get out there and play. You just need the time, you need the reps. So it'd be great if he kind of emerges because there are backup guard spot minutes available in Charlotte. All right. I think that covers all of the teams that have played already. Now that we're almost an hour in, let's dive into a preview after our last break. Okay, Rucker. Let's just go alphabetical order here.
I love it.
I'm using your guide that will be up at NoCeilingsNBA.com Friday morning as just kind of a guide to walk through this. All right, Atlanta Hawks. Obviously, they took Zachary Risacher first overall. They grabbed Nikola Jurisic, 43rd overall. Some other notables: Kobe Buffin, Mohamed Gay, Dylan Windler, EJ Liddell. What are you?
Oh, you don't have to name everyone. I just wanted to hear who you were excited about.
Okay. I'm
pumped about Risacher. I think everyone's going to overreact. Are you expecting Risacher to be give me the damn ball, let me show myself, or
no,
I'm not either.
That's not who he is.
But you know who I am?
Kobe Buffkin to
there it is.
Run the goddamn show and put on a fucking.
I think he's gonna turn some heads. I think he's gonna be foaming at the mouth. I had like I said to everyone, I have two good for summer league candidates. I probably should have had him in the mix, but I thought that was very like, okay, you're a little biased there. But I also think he might be like, Kobe Buffkin's here. Like, I'm pumped to see him. I think he's also probably pumped to be playing. And they play Washington game 1, I think.
Is he going to be their backup? No, Dyson. Is Dyson going to be their backup point guard? Who's going to be?
No, it's got to be Kobe, and then they're going to play Dyson probably like as a combo guard, maybe the 2.
Yeah, and they can even play
Buffkin and
3.
Buffkin and Dyson would be very fun together. That's some. Gosh, I still like Dyson. I think that's a good spot for him to land.
I'm also excited to see EJ Liddell. I'm hoping that he's healthy, gets a little run. I really liked him coming out of Ohio State, but just tearing his ACL summer league of his rookie year on a Pelicans team, never got any minutes, any luck. So I'm really hoping that we just see something out of him.
Yeah, he was a late ad. I still liked him. It was one of those I was like, I like him.
The chat is confirming that Buffkin is injured and won't be playing. So fantastic. Why can't we have nice things
the whole time?
I don't know. I'm depressed now. Moving on to the Celtics. Their 2 draft picks, Baylor Sharman, Anton Watson. I think the name to keep an eye on is Jordan Walsh. And is this going to be a preview of him kind of forcing them to consider him for the actual rotation next year? Doubtful. And when I say consider him for the actual rotation, I mean literally any minutes ever, not starting or 6th or 7th man minutes. But
I think that
consistently on the end of the bench.
Maybe because you also got to think. We always see injuries. You got to have guys that can just step up on a tough road trip or stuff, or guys are missing.
And this is going to be a very, very long year for some of the most important players on that team, with Tatum, Holiday, Derek White going full year as the 1 seed through the playoffs, through the finals.
Yeah, you're going to need to buy some time.
Exhausted.
Yeah, you're going to need to buy some time for sure. I think Showerman landing there was an absolute dream. I think they were planning on trading back until they saw Showerman on the board, and they're like, we're gonna take him. He's just a perfect fit. He's absolutely perfect for them. So I think Showerman has if Showerman has a good first game, it's gonna be like, oh boy, they got another good guy. And it wouldn't shock me if he gets good minutes as a rookie, because he just brings another ingredient to them that I think's important for the way that team plays, how competitive tough rebounder. I think he'd be great for them. So I like the Celtics team. They got a lot of intriguing, hey, remember me names, Ron Harper Jr. and Jalen House and JD Davison. I'm excited to see Springer too, but I think Walsh could be end of the roster, or you're like another G League year and then he's really making some noise, but going to be interesting. Talk to me about Brooklyn.
Oh God, do we have to?
No, yeah, because we do. Because Noah Clowney, Tariq Whitehead,
that's the one.
Jalen Wilson. I'm intrigued with all 3 of those.
Whitehead's the big one for me.
Whitehead's the big one. I think Clowney's up there. I think Clowney could be looking like, they got something, because he looked good at times last year. I actually watched a couple of G League games, and I was like, Noah's on the right path. And he's still so young.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, that these guys are babies still. Yeah. And Brooklyn just got their picks back, so they're kind of hinting at. I know they just paid Claxton, but for starter center money, was it 25 mil average? That's not bad. So I think that the tank is rapidly incoming, which means we will probably be getting a lot of these minutes from these guys. So I'm really hoping that, first, obviously, with all these guys, that they stay healthy. And second, they just kind of show that they can play, because we didn't get anything from this entire crew last year. Who's hurt now?
I just saw the Kobe Buffkin report. It's an actual Atlanta Hawks tweet injury report. He hurt his
sanction that
he hurt his right shoulder during Tuesday evening summer league practice. Right shoulder. Oh my gosh, he's not playing all of summer league and is expected to make a full recovery ahead of training camp.
I guess that's what matters.
Well, I just want to let everyone know, this is why I love writing this piece, because that stuff happens the night before I'm supposed to drop it, and I have to go jump back in and edit it. So it's going to be fantastic.
Or don't.
Well, I'll just add a couple sentences, be like, or...
Just be like, JK, he got hurt. Sucks.
JK, he got hurt.
I'm not super pumped about this team, but
no,
Whitehead and Clowney are the ones that if they show anything, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe they at least have a couple pieces already on the team going forward into their rebuild.
And I love everyone. I love all fan bases. We're all watching that Nets team for 2 guys. 2.5. I'm wanting to see what Derek can do.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to see if Derek looks healthy in the first 5 minutes, I'm going to be like, oh gosh, this is going to be fantastic. But I don't know.
Let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets team. I guess we can be real brief.
We just did.
We just did. We talked about him.
Yeah,
why is Brandon
screw
Miller
it.
on this roster? Why is he on this roster? Go drop 40 in the first quarter and be done. Go home.
I am pumped for him.
Vegas, just
hey, well, let's do this. Let's do this. We didn't do a draft grades episode because me and you were both flatlining. What did you think of Tajane going there?
It was a pick.
I kind of like it. The further away I got from the draft, I was talking
the less
to myself.
I thought about it and considered roster construction and who else was available and everything else.
The more I thought about it, the more I'm intrigued because I do like the roster construction. If you're playing him with Mark, if he's just your floor spacer and your high energy, high motor guy, I get it.
Sure.
It's just 6. I was like, whoa. And then,
but they also have Grant Williams and just re-signed Bridges. And so it's like,
well, I loved it until the Bridges re-signing. And then I was like, what are we doing?
What are you doing? It's gross.
Stop it.
But yeah, especially with new front office, like he's not your guy. Just get rid of him.
Was he restricted?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who gives a fuck? But Salon needs minutes because he's so raw. He's so incredibly raw. And this Hornets team is going to suck again. So why bring back both Grant and Bridges and limit those minutes that you can give him?
Grant was under contract.
Right. So you keep Grant.
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be better, but I agree with you. They needed to just play him a bunch. So I don't know. Who cares? Anyways,
I like to be honest with our fans and our listeners. I would be lying if there wasn't like a 2% of me that was like, is this just Kai Jones all over again?
No, okay. It's not. It's the opposite. Stop it.
I said 2%.
The 2%'s ridiculous. I can't stand that comment
rounding
from
up
you.
From 1.6%.
I hate that.
So do I. But this is my brain. I can't help it. All right,
Chicago.
Very excited to see Julian Phillips and Miles Buzelis should be fun. I'm curious to see how they kind of use him and how much initiation they kind of let him do, or if they put him more in an off-ball role. And I'm just really intrigued to see how they kind of roll him out, because I think it's going to be really telling about how they view him long-term, or at least for this season.
Yeah, I'm really pumped to watch Julian. I think that's the one name that when I was doing the whole roster breakdown, I got to Julian Phillips. I was like, oh, okay, I forgot about you. And I didn't, but I was just like, oh, that's the perfect guy for year 2 summer league to really see something. And now with Chicago, I feel like he's going to be a good opportunity to get some more minutes. I want to see Buzelis. I want to see what he can do. Like I want to see it. So one of these guys in this class is going to suddenly look very different, or suddenly look exactly how we were expecting. And I just want to know right now. So I want to know. Sonogo was a beast in the G League for them. Like beast. So I want to see if he averaged 20 points, 12 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks per game in the G. So I think he just re-signed for another 2-way. I like his game. I want to see it. So other than that, don't love the roster.
Nope.
I feel like that's a tradition with the Bulls Summer League roster. I'm like, 2 guys and then get dark in a hurry.
But those 2 guys should get a lot of run.
They should get a lot of run.
Get a lot of opportunity. Another team that I'm not super enthused about, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Easy. They got the DJ. DJ Burns is on this roster, the big fella, and he lost a bunch of weight, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see Craig Porter.
I'm excited to see Imani Bates, and I mean that genuinely.
I actually am. I actually am too.
I'm intrigued to see what that kind of leap, what type of leap he's going to be taking after a full year in the NBA and in the G League and kind of bouncing back and forth. So I'm really intrigued to see, has the shot improved? Has it gotten more consistent? Has he gotten stronger? All that kind of stuff. And is there a real path for him down the road to getting legitimate rotation minutes? So I think this is a really good place to start with that.
Dallas, I think the least excited.
Yeah, this is tough.
I like OMP. Olivier Maxence Prosper. I think it's a very big opportunity for him to earn minutes. Like, he has every skill that the Mavericks are wanting right now, but he needs to show some stuff. Ajinko was their only draft pick.
God, I'm pumped to watch him stand in the corner.
So is he.
I'm sure they'll run the occasional Spain pick and roll with him as the second screener. Alex Fudge, bit of chaos.
Fudge, chaos.
It's a really underwhelming.
Jamarian Sharp is very tall.
I feel like they'll be in the second gym quite a bit.
They always seem like they have like two guys you're like, oh, I'm intrigued, and then it just nothing. One year, I think they were losing by like 50 in a game, and I was like, I've never seen this happen in summer league. Like, they're just getting demolished. I think Jaden Hardy was on that team. But anyways, it gets really exciting when we get to Denver.
Jaden Hardy drive by, my goodness.
Well, I love Jaden Hardy. I was high on him, so I was just like, I'm watching because of Jaden Hardy. I think they took him out.
So Denver's team's kind of loaded.
They're a wagon. I have wagon alerts on this preview piece. They're a wagon.
Deron Holmes, Julian Strawther, Jalen Pickett, Hunter Tyson, PJ Hall, Trey Alexander. There are like 3 or 4 names in there that the Nuggets are praying really take a leap and can give them serious minutes next year.
Hey, it's a bar fight. I was looking at the roster. I was like, if any of these guys take a step, like, they're going to be a big
Holmes
name.
Is already their backup center, unless you want to assume Dario Saric is taking those minutes. But I feel like we have a few years now of that not being the best idea in the world.
No, Dario is going to be some smart insurance. Duran's going to be the backup.
No KCP. Reggie Jackson's out the door.
It's a perfect like opportunity. Like Strawther, Hunter Tyson. I mean, Pickett's even got a chance to get some more minutes. Like, I like Pickett. He had a big
really
year.
Shows out, why not be like, all right, cool. Maybe you earned point guard minutes this year. I know it's a small ask for a contender, but who else? Unless
did you know he averaged
which
Pickett averaged 17.5 and almost 9 with 1.5 steals on 37, almost 38% in the G. Like, and he's big. What?
You can't stop booty ball.
I think Strawther's the name that, like, it could be very very obvious that he's gonna be the KCP replacement.
Really concerning if it's not.
Or really concerning if it's not. Hunter Tyson shocked the crap out of me last year when we watched him in person at Summer League. I was like, this dude can play.
It's like he can't miss.
He can't miss. And then he went to the G and put up some games. So I think that's another guy. If they both take a step back, Denver's going to be like, uh-oh, we've got 2 fun, dangerous wild cards on the bench. And then Christian Braun.
A lot of these panic pieces are going to look foolish or right on the money with Denver. There doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of in between. Deron Holmes is going to get a lot of minutes next year.
He should.
Who else? Because they really need at least 2 other names from this group, primarily with Strawther, Pickett, Tyson, and Trey. They need at least 2 of those guys to emerge and be like, yeah, we can hold down the end of the rotation or give you 10 to 15 minutes a night off the bench.
Well, you think any of those shooters takes a step? Was Peyton Watson also is going to be in the mix? Like I said, CB's in the mix.
Brown already minutes. Brown's probably going to start for them at 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking
he takes KCP spot.
Yeah, unless Strawther has like a he should be starting. They should start him at least to see how it goes because he's just going to be a good field guy. I don't know. I love their team. Their summer league team's got a lot of intrigue, and then we have PJ Hall and Trey Alexander as wild card undrafted guys, which I'm still so shocked they were both undrafted, but weird.
Speaking of
Is it
weird,
the Ron Hollendauer Detroit Pistons?
yeah. All right, Detroit, who took Ron Holland at 5th overall, Bobby Klintman at 37th overall. Ron Holland's the big name on this team.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little pissed off. Asar's not on the roster because I think we all deserve to see Asar and Ron Holland on the court together. Would have been fun just to see what it looks like. Probably scary in a good way.
Do you think like the seats under the hoop would have had to sign waivers?
Probably. I'll tell you what, man. They took them, and I was like, "Hey, the Bulls." What?
We were floored. At least I was. I was shocked.
I'm not shocked. Someone is all in. I'm not shocked because all it takes is one team, and if you're thinking, "Hey, he's got some of the highest upside," and he does. So I'm not shocked. I'd never felt comfortable with everyone just being like, "Oh, Bazelis, Detroit." I was like, I don't buy that. And if you get one of the best shooting guys in the league right now, and he's looking at Ron Hahn, he's like, I can work with this. And he's looking at Asar, and he's like, I can work with this. Okay, I get it. The funny thing is, I was so shocked they took Ron in the moment that like I didn't remember they had Asar for like an hour. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, Ron, how's it gonna work? Like blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, they have Asar too. Like, and I was like, if you figure those both out, oh my gosh, like buckle up. It's gonna be like Bad Boys all over again, just with the defensive like all over the place. So I love the swing. You're also like probably taking over that team and being like, we're not contending anytime soon. Give me some upside. Give me something to work with.
And
then they signed Tobias Harris, and I was like, wow, we're all over the place now.
They had money, but
they don't have any.
And Tobias can, at least shoot efficiently. I've gone all over the place with this Holland pick. I hated it when it happened. 10 minutes.
I didn't hate it.
10 minutes
later, I didn't hate it.
I didn't tell you what you did or didn't do.
No, but you're being ridiculous. No, it's not a hate thing.
Because they have zero shooting, and he was one of the worst shooters in this class.
But there was no one that's like. Were you going to take Dalton there? No,
I probably
you're not taking that.
I would have liked that in the
5.
moment, but then probably would have been down on it now. What I'm going through my process here. So at the moment, I was like, what are they doing? This is absurd. A team with zero shooting took one of the worst and most questionable shooters in this draft. And then an hour later, I was like, okay, well, they have one of the best shooting coaches now in the league. The athleticism, the defense, if last year was a fluke and he kind of reverts more back to what we saw in high school, then okay, the defensive pairing of him and Asar is insane on the perimeter. That athleticism, their transition offense, the way they're going to be able to get out and run, wreak havoc, cause turnovers, get easy buckets in transition. That'll be really fun, especially as a young team that can get out and run. So much of the creation responsibilities are going to be taken away from him because of Cade, and he's never played with a guy like that before who can just create any shot he wants for everyone else on the floor. So then I was like, okay, I'm starting to see the vision. It really feels like it's all going to come down to what does the shot look like in 3 years? And if it really does take leaps, and if Fred Vinson really does mold it and get it to just consistent mechanics, that's the biggest thing, where it's like, can you just get these mechanics consistent every single time? That's like, okay, now I see the vision. And if you're taking that huge upside swing, which I think was one of the kind of cool storylines in this draft, was we weren't really sure if teams were going to play it safe and try and take upperclassmen where you're like, I know that I can get minimum 10 to 15 minutes a night out of this guy, or are we just going to say fuck it and take the home run swing? And we saw in the first round, teams were swinging for the fences. They're like, who cares if this draft hits or not? We are taking the highest upside guy no matter what. And that's what the Pistons did. So Trajan Langdon has a history of taking these really toolsy, high upside athletic wings, and that's exactly what Ron is. So if he hits and him and Asar really improve as shooters, not even to like elite levels, but just like league average levels, they're going to be awesome on the perimeter.
Yeah, you're still thinking you're building this team for years down the road, especially for Langdon taking this job. I think he's going to do a great job. He's been a rising star in the ranks, the front office ranks over the years. I thought New Orleans was brilliant to kind of get him under Griffin, so they could kind of give him the title where he wasn't going to get poached. And you know, I think this draft was looking at it. I was like, there's going to be a point where someone's going to be battling with this is a holy crap upside swing, or we're drafting an upperclassman much earlier than he usually would be drafted. And I think you saw that with Detroit. You saw that with Charlotte at 5 and 6. They were probably like, we're either going for Connect down or someone like that, or we're swinging just upside. And when you're picking that high, teams usually always are like, well, we might as well just swing. And this is the year that if you were even debating it, you might as well just swing. Because let's say Ron just has some flashes during his rookie year and Detroit's still picking up there in the top 7 for a stacked class. Now you're hoping you're getting Ron's second year leap with a potential star addition from a stacked class. So I get it. I have my questions, but I also think it could be a great place for Ron to be patient. And I know one thing, he's going to learn some stuff from Asar, even though Asar is going to be in his second year. I just would have liked to see Asar. I'm very excited to see his second year. I think both the Thompson twins are going to be fantastic. But
Asar did have some blood clotting.
Yeah, he had to get cleared up. He had to get cleared up from cleared from a previous injury. I'll tell you, the one guy I'm the sneaky most excited to watch at Summer League. He's on the Pistons.
Would be a certain Marcus Sasser.
Oh, yeah. We seem like everyone's forgetting a little bit about Marcus Sasser, and I feel like this is the guy that's built for the second year Summer League, very loud first game that's just like, I'm coming. And I know the roster, but I just feel like Sasser's going to be a guy that we're going to be like, they got to find a way to play Sasser more. He had some great stretches for them as a rookie. I was like, what the hell is Monty Williams doing? Play him more. So...
Well, I mean, when you have Killian Hayes, you can't give up those minutes.
That is true.
And even guys like Tosan, Dennis Jenkins, Jalen.
I love Tosan.
He's fantastic. He's going to make a team. Maybe not this year, but I would be surprised if he doesn't get like a guaranteed contract in the next couple of years. Okay. That's a lot of Pistons talk. Golden State, we kind of talked about them earlier.
We talked about them.
I would expect Pods and TJD to get shut down relatively early. I thought Reese looked solid, and keep an eye on Montes Stroops.
I love when you have to pronounce names.
That one's tough. I'm just going Montes. He's kind of fun.
Houston.
I liked him with the Breakers this year. He was.
Yeah, I did too. I think that's a good little sleeper to keep an eye on. Maybe as a G League guy that you get surprised, but talk to me about Houston.
Reed Shepherd, that's the name. How much point guard is he going to play? Can he play just like more of that, more actual traditional point guard? Where at Kentucky he was kind of combo guard, splitting those minutes mostly with Rob. But can he kind of really conduct the show with off-ball scorers like Cam Whitmore, AJ Griffin? It'll be fun. At the very least, that they should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm very pumped to see Reed. Think he could be very, very fun right out of the gate. I'm really excited to see Whitmore.
Yeah.
I understand Whitmore playing. I'm happy to see Whitmore playing. He also just seems like the type of player that just like is like, you don't belong on the same court as me right now. And it's more of just his playing style, his mentality, his strength. Like, I feel like someone's going to try to cut him off as a rookie and be like, what the, this guy's that, so like he's on my too good for Summer League candidate. Cause I could just see Whitmore the first game and being like, shut him down. Just get him done. He looks great. Pumped to see him.
Game. Yeah.
I'm really pumped to see AJ Griffin.
Yeah.
AJ's on the roster. I think this is a phenomenal move from them to buy low. I think freshest air, like new place, new scenery. I think he's still 20. Do you know that? I think it's I was shocked when I saw that trade. I was like, what? So I think that's a good move.
Okay. Pacers, 3 draft picks in Johnny Furphy, Tristan Newton, Enrique Freeman. Also some big returners in Jarris Walker, Ben Shepherd, Oscar Sheboy, Kendall Brown, Josiah Jordan James. They got some dudes. It sounds like Jarris Walker is going to be playing the 3, which is interesting. Not exactly the direction I would think he would try to be scaled, but I'm excited. I love Jarris. He's so good. And I think he has a real chance to kind of carve out a legitimate role this year. And then got Ben Shepherd coming back, and he was just playing meaningful playoff minutes. So Pacers could be really good.
I'm pumped. I mean, Jarris is at the top of my list. I think of who I'm watching. I think he's going to blow up this year. I'm not just saying that just because I loved him as a prospect. I've heard some stuff of why he had a little bit of a slow start, and then all of a sudden I watched him progress in the G League. He was trending up in the right direction in a hurry. Like to see the defense get a little bit more consistent. I think it's a hard worker. I think he's gonna blow the roof off of Summer League, and we're gonna be like, this is why he was such a highly touted prospect. Why some of us thought he was going to be like a top 5 guy. Shepherd looks like a guy that probably will not belong there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it just looks like that's the guy that looks like he drops 18 in the first game very efficiently and has like 3 steals and 8 rebounds. And you're like, you might not need to see anything else. Like, he looks good. He's not going to be and he also might drop 30. You don't know, but I think Shepherd doesn't belong there. I'm pumped to see the rookie class. It was like a weird draft for them, but they somehow landed like some really good value guys. Like Furphy at 35 was just like, wow.
Yeah, and I had Furphy and Freeman as both, I think, top 40 guys, and then Newton top 50, I think. So
yeah,
not that necessarily means anything right now, but in terms of guys I liked, I really like the value they had. I think Enrique Freeman's going to look really good too. So yeah, I'm refusing to get off that bandwagon. Okay. Clippers, a lot of kind of fun, interesting developmental names. They took Max Christie, 46 overall. I'm excited to
Cam
see
Christie. Cam Christie. It's okay. We got to get. We're going to do that a lot. Cam Christie.
Okay. And then they also picked up Trent Flowers as a UDFA, which
shocking.
Seems like incredible value. A couple scouts are floored by that, but I'm excited to see. Those are the 2 names that I'm most excited to see.
I'm pumped to see Kobe Brown. I'm pumped to see Jordan Miller. Flowers definitely on that list. Feel like I've always been excited for Moussa Diabate, but I've been saying this for like 19 years. So,
and I'm right there with you.
But yeah, I think Kobe Brown needs a big summer league to actually earn some minutes on this team. This is the weirdest team I've ever seen in my life. They're having an all-time offseason. I feel like I could do an episode about just the Clippers offseason. Every time I got a notification from Woj or Shams about like, oh, the Clippers have signed someone, I was like, what are they doing? It was just unbelievable the type of players they've put. And then there was a rumor they were going to try to get Miles Bridges, and I was like, whoever has the authority to sign these guys needs to be put in a straitjacket. So I like Kobe Brown. I'm intrigued to see what he does year 2. Very pumped that we don't have to keep talking about that though. What else?
Right. Lakers.
We talked about Memphis.
We talked about.
Wow, Miami. We talked about
Milwaukee. AJ Johnson, Tyler Smith. AJ Johnson, 23rd overall. Tyler Smith, 33rd overall. Chris Livingston, Marjon Beauchamp, Andre Jackson, Ryan Rollins. They got some names.
A lot of names.
AJ.
Pumped CAJ. I love they took him. I think that was really
Bucks
smart.
Not.
Why?
I get it. Because they have the top 3 player in the world right now. They traded for one of the best shooting point guards of all time last summer. They want to win a title. AJ Johnson's not helping them win a title. He's a long-term play. He adds a ton of long-term upside, athleticism, on-ball creation. He's not going to do anything for him this year.
Here's my hot take.
And I love AJ Johnson more than anyone.
I agree. They're going to feed him in the G. He's going to be fantastic in Wisconsin with the herd.
Oh, they are. nearby.
Yes.
He could be bouncing back and forth all the time. Because I was gonna say I'd want him around Dame.
I would too. I think they'll have him on the bench. They'll have him around the team. Then they'll also be like, go get 2 games in with the herd, come back up, like just get some reps. Here's my hot take: are Bucks fans happier if those picks just swapped?
No, because I heard a lot of the same complaining with.
Oh, amazing! So they're just not happy.
Yeah,
they're just not okay. Perfect. Awesome.
They're upset.
Well, I'm excited to see Andre Jackson in year 2.
Also, I don't think AJ would be there with the 33rd pick, but
will you also get him for the extra year?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've been saying all year.
Like, I don't understand. That's a really big, important part. You're getting him for the extra year.
I know I'm dumb sometimes, a lot of the time.
It's like drafting a quarterback.
I'm smart.
It's like drafting a quarterback in the NFL in the first round. You get the extra year. Livingston, show me something. Beauchamp, I'm ready, but I don't know if it's going to take a leap. And then Andre Jackson,
he has to prove that he can do something other than defend. Because
I think it's the Andre Jackson year.
They need him to play. They need his athleticism. They need his point of attack defense. They desperately need him. So he's got to show them something where it's like, hey, I deserve 20 plus minutes.
I agree. I'm pumped for AJ though. I think he's right. Let's do it.
All right.
Your T-Wolves I put as a wagon alert.
Fucking loaded. This is gonna be a fun team.
It's a really fun team, and it's not because of the rookie class only, but it's really fun team.
Rob Dillingham with the 8th pick, Terrence Shannon Jr. with the 25th pick. Then they have Jalen Clark returning, finally healthy. Josh Minot, which in what feels like his 18th summer league year. Leonard Miller. There's some big names here. There's some really fun names.
Okay, here's a question for Mr. Metcalf, Mr. Timberwolves fan. You can't use the rookies. Give me your top 3. I'm excited to watch. My name's Tyler Metcalf at Summer League. Can't use rookies.
Well, Kakiata has to be one. I would say Jalen Clark is the big one. Because
I think Jalen's my number 1.
Because I think he would have been a first rounder if he didn't rupture his Achilles, which is just a ridiculous sentence to say. Because obviously, he's going to be an awesome defender. But it's like, what's the shot? What does the shot look like? Has the on-ball stuff improved? Is there any playmaking there? And kind of how feasible is it for him to kind of fill into that Nickeil Alexander role? Because Nikhil's making $4 million this year, last year of his contract. They're not going to be able to afford him after this year. So they need one of Terrence Shannon or Jalen Clark to really step up this year and make those strides. So the following year, they can kind of fill those shoes. And I think Jalen's probably the best bet to do that. And
if he looks like the UCLA player that we were getting enamored with, he's going to play. They
love him.
Vicious of a defender. He's that special
he was with the team all year and he had a locker spot. He was on the bench all year. He wasn't down in Iowa rehabbing. He was with the team from start to finish.
I think he could play. I think he could surprise and get minutes because he's just athletic freak with special gifts defensively. Like just his hands. Like I'm very fascinated to see where he's at.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, I'm right there with you about Jalen Clark. I'm pumped to see what he can do.
It'll be a fun team. Still very raw, but a couple guys where if they really show something, I'll be like, all right, this is very, very exciting. But
you don't have to just move on from that. We can get a little weird for this. So like, what Rob, TSJ, like, I'm not sure. I love them going to get Rob. Mm-hmm. I think it's a fantastic swing, especially this year. You said it became eligible to trade that pick. That's the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. To trade that future pick, it became eligible at a certain point, and they just traded it right away.
Yeah, it was available to trade. I think once the finals ended, and Tim Conley's like, "Fuck those picks."
That's awesome. I love that.
Why? What's he here? What's 2031 to him? That means nothing. But
you don't care. You don't care.
They couldn't go out and sign a point guard for the amount of money that Rob's going to be making. So they found that they filled that spot by trading up for it, and they traded a pick 7 years from now. It's really smart cap management and kind of finagling on the edges. It's a really, really smart move.
Yeah, you're kicking the can down the road, but you also can't. You're not going to be able to get guys like that, so you might as well just be like, well, let's just get him now. I'm pumped to see him. I think the TSJ pick was very sneaky good. I'm just curious about Leonard Miller here too.
Aren't we all?
Well, no, I mean that in a positive way. Like if he does take a stride, like
I mean it in a
that's a holy crap development. Yeah, it's a big development if he is. Minot's always a summer league legend. Jaden Ledee was a sneaky little ad there. So I don't know. It's a fun roster. Everyone's gonna be watching Raw, but I think Jalen Clark's gonna be very, very fun to watch.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, let's move on to who's next. New Orleans. Yeah, Pelicans drafted East Missy 21st, Antonio Reeves 47th. Returners Jordan Hawkins. It's a big one.
That's pretty much.
It just feels like a kind of run of the mill summer league team. I'm fascinated to see what they do with the center position because is Missy really going to be their day one starter?
I think so. Like I'm kind of at a point where I was like, are they just going to be like, hey, you got to figure it out? Like, welcome to the NBA. Like, we're going to feed you to the Wolves. What else do you do? Unless you're trying to trade for like Ayton or some weird.
Oh, I hate that fit.
I do too. And I'm just trying to think of like the market. And are you gambling on Robert Williams' legs right now? Probably. I probably would too. I don't know what the options are. I would, I'd be buying Rob on Rob easily. You get like
some fun athleticism with him and Zion. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Because I'm intrigued. I kind of like Missy long term, but I don't think he's ready to start for a team who's hoping to get home court in the playoffs.
No,
which I don't think they're going to. And who knows what happens with Brandon Ingram? So kind of just a funky situation, but we'll see.
Hawkins, I'm pumped to see.
Yeah,
Hawkins, I'm pumped to see. I think this is the year where he might start to figure out some stuff because I think those guys get red hot in the rookie years and then all of a sudden fade off and they're like, oh, I got to figure out more than just being a shooter. So I'm pumped to see him. That's all I got. Knicks
loaded rookie class.
Loaded.
Dadier, Tyler Kolek, Kevin McCullough, Ariel.
I got to update a little bit more of that. See, this is why we love to do it. I feel like they're
and Rokas coming back.
Rokas is going to be very fun to watch. I liked him as a prospect a lot. Just really good feel. Him and Tyler Kolek will probably try to fight each other to the death. I don't know if we got... Is McCullough on the roster? Is he actually playing? If he's playing and he fell that late in the draft, I'm going to lose my mind.
God, I forgot.
You know what I'm saying? Stupid. That's stupid.
I'm really excited to see Rokas. I think that he's sneaky talent that's just waiting to kind of be unleashed and get an opportunity. I know Knicks fans are very excited about him as well. They should have a fun team. I really, really loved Hook Porty all year over in the NBL. I think that was an absolute steal, and it really wouldn't surprise me if he can give them 10 plus minutes as a backup this year. Though the way his defense improved was outstanding. Elite athlete, fantastic running the floor, super low maintenance. I really like Hook Porty, especially at that value and especially to the Knicks.
I like a lot of guys they drafted. Get Pacome Dadier on the court. That's all I care about right now. I just want to see what he's looking like. See if I look like I know what I'm talking about. They're going to be fun. I think Hook Porty landed with a great spot. They also moved to get him.
Did they? So I think they swapped with Dallas or something.
That might have been very calculated because they're losing Isaiah. I'm not saying he's going to replace them right away, but that's clearly the type of presence you want to get. Like they need some big depth. So I don't know. You've been high on that train all year. It's going to be interesting to see.
All right. Thunder we talked about earlier. Magic Tristan Da Silva, Anthony Black, Jed Howard. We need some guys to take a leap here.
I think they're gonna.
Also,
come on, you used to be patient like me.
I am.
Okay.
But they need shooting. This team, I'm saying for the team, they need shooting.
Yeah.
No, if a raw second-year guy has an inconsistent year, I'm not going to be out on him.
My favorite hot take was someone, or I saw some people say the Magic took Da Silva because they're already out on Jet, which is just like one of the funniest comments I've ever heard.
That's the thing.
Jet's going to be fine, and Da Silva's going to be able to play right out of the gate, and you're going to have two dangerous rotation assets. I think Anthony Black's going to turn some heads.
Yes.
I think this is the guy that, like, what he did his rookie year should have been more praised because, like, a rising team hungry for the playoffs, he figured out a way to get minutes without being a scorer. I thought some really brilliant defensive stuff. I thought some good feel stuff off the ball too. I think that's a guy that's we're gonna feel the Anthony Black leap pretty quickly, I think. Yeah. And I'm not saying like stat wise. I just feel like there's gonna be a clear impact. It's slowing. Yeah, it's slowing down for him. So he's probably one of the top guys I'm pumped to see at Summer League.
Agreed. And then if Jed Howard really takes that leap and is shooting consistently and big time, and he can prove that he can give them minutes this year, it's just going to be so important for the depth and versatility for that rotation overall.
If Anthony Black looks like he's taking a leap in that first game, like just has a really solid game, and then Jet is just somehow like, oh, he had 25 on 70% shooting, I'm going to be like, holy crap, Orlando's going to be rocking. Like, it's just, those are two very fun pieces. If they take a leap, this team's going to get better in a hurry because they just are unique assets.
All right. Philly, we talked about already. Bona, McCain, Rock, Phoenix. Oh, brother. All right.
No, Ryan stop it. It's a fun roster.
Oso Iguodala with the 40th pick. Jalen Bridges, I like that pickup for them a lot. After that,
you got to be kidding me. You had to get to their undrafted guy before you said you like. I think Ryan Dunn landing there is like phenomenal. I think Oso being a backup big for them is great with this team. Like Bud, everyone needs to be waking up about the Budenholzer hire. That dude turns teams around like it's his job, like right out of the gate. Like, it is literally his job. But like, no, but I'm just saying
coaching for his job.
Yeah, look, like let me finish my statement before you try to be rude to me. Like
I'm
okay, great.
We're an hour and a half.
All right, yeah, an hour and a half is where everything niceness comes out. He's done it twice in his career. He just right away gets teams to buy in. They have good seasons. I think the Suns are sneaky. I think Ryan Dunn landing there is fantastic.
Yeah,
he's going to fit perfect. Like he's just go play great defense. We have all the offense we need.
Okay. Yeah, but we're talking about Summer League right now. We're talking about their Summer League roster. I don't think he's going to do. I would love for him to make a 3. Just make
he's
one.
Gonna.
Or would you rather have him make 5 out of 20, or take like 30? And
take 30.
1.
Take 30.
Yeah.
Hey.
Or
people
maybe
said
those numbers a little differently depending on the game distribution.
People,
you get the thought process.
People said he was very impressive shooting it at workouts. His form doesn't look bad. I think Virginia locked him in a room and was making him watch like The Exorcist on repeat or like the Blair Witch Project if he ever shot a 3. So he's just terrified to shoot. I think he's going to be fine.
He's going to get minutes over Josh Okogie, who just resigned.
Yes. Eventually, yes. This is one of the best defensive prospects we've seen.
I know. I'm being obnoxious.
I like Koji. They had to resign him because they don't have any money.
They gave him a bunch of money.
They probably didn't have a choice.
They gave him a good amount of money. It's not guaranteed second year. 2 years.
There it is. That's always the little sneaker. What else we got? Portland?
Portland, yes. Took Donovan Clingan 7th overall. What?
Are you shocked? No Scoot? I'm not.
No, but a little disappointed.
Disappointed. That's like the old parent saying, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed," which somehow hurts 20 times worse.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wow, I really fucked up. It's like, can you just be mad? Can you yell at me?
I'm not mad. I just regret everything. I think Scoot earned it in the second half of the year. Why were they playing? Why are they going to play him in Summer League?
To get some reps with Klingon.
So he gets hurt again?
I know. If you're worried about him getting hurt like that in one game, there are bigger concerns.
I think he probably was a possessed monster. I think he was probably possessed.
I just think I just wish he would have played, because I think in extra reps with Klingon will be important. I mean, we saw it with like the OKC guys last year. Just get out there, play for a game.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Scoot and Klingon. I'm not worried about them working on their games.
I think Rucker is the big one though for this group.
The most excited.
Looks huge in person. It wouldn't surprise me if he's grown since he was drafted.
That's the
and
buzz.
He's gotten so much stronger. The shot continues to improve. I think this could be a huge summer for him.
Yeah, I was told he's a psychotic work ethic.
That helps.
So, and I think the growth thing has some fire to it. I think it's just one of those guys, like, this is something that we need to keep an eye on, because I do think this is a big summer. I think he could be kind of unlocking. I didn't know he shot almost 38% from downtown in the G last year.
Yeah.
That's a big number for him.
Yeah.
Like, very big number. I was just like, okay, Ryan, repair.
And hopefully we get Klingon shooting a little bit, but I doubt it. So
if he goes out and they should run a play where he pulls a three the first time. If he hits it, everyone's just going to let out a loud groan like, oh gosh, this guy's a stud.
Run an inverted pick and roll with him as the ball handler. Let him launch from the logo.
I think
it's weird.
I think he's going to be great for them.
I agree. All right, Kings. We talked about Devin Carter's out for 6 months. That sucks.
That sucks.
We talked about the rest of them. Spurs. We talked about
Toronto
Raptors. God,
I liked their drafts. I like their draft. I like their team a lot.
Very on brand for the draft. Jacoby Walter at 19. Jonathan Mogbo at 31.
Mobo.
No, I was told it's Mogbo. The pronunciation guide. Yeah, the pronunciation guide was Mogbo. Yeah, I know. This year
I don't like that anymore. I would have moved them down.
Jamal Shed at 45. Ulrich Chomsky. Oh God,
I don't know. I've been calling him Chonch.
And then Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji coming back. Should be a fun team.
I'm like a good summer league away from Jacoby Walter from being like, Scott Drew, you're my mortal enemy. And I love Scott. He's a good guy. But I would be like, did you just...
Hell of a coach.
Back-to-back years of making freshman wings and guards do way too much, and then they realize life's a lot easier at the NBA level with Keontae and then Jacoby.
Yeah, but couldn't the argument be that them doing all of that put them in position to take that jump?
Yes, exactly.
Maybe at the time they're not ready for it, but
no, for sure,
letting them play through it.
I'm really interested
with them next year.
Oh yeah, VJ's gonna be nuts. Yeah, I'm pumped about Jacoby. Yeah, I feel like there's a chance he landed in a perfect spot. You know where I'm at with him, Metcalf? After the draft, I was like, could they just make it simple early on for him, and then let him
go out there, be Gary Trent? Like, you are not having the ball in your hands ever, because Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett will.
I love the value they got with him. I like Mobo at 31. I'm saying Mogbo. I loved Shed. I thought that was a sneaky, nice little ad. Just if you're rebuilding, like, get the right mentality. And then I get Ulrich. I think he's gonna have his moments, but I think Grady Dick's. This is another perfect. I think the second year shooters that are high feel guys, I think at Summer League is perfect for you. And he ended the year on a strong note. He was looking really good. I like this team. This Toronto team's nice. Like, they got some fun pieces. They should at least be very exciting at Summer League, but I also think there's just guys that look like they could be with this team moving forward for a while.
Agreed. All right, Utah we talked about earlier, and let's wrap it up with your new team.
We're here, baby. The Wizards. I love Wizards fans. I'm not kidding. I at first just started out because I was like, I've never had any beef with Wizards fans. They always seem awesome. And then I was just like, I'm rooting for the Wizards to get better. And then they're the nicest people I've ever talked to in my life. Like, you guys are just awesome. So I'm all in. I'm debating getting a Koulibaly jersey. I'm gonna see what's up. I might get a Bub one. We got to do something. We got to make a Wizard shirt or something.
All right, so the Wizards took Alex Sarr, second overall, Carlton, Lil Bub, Carrington at 14. Has he graduated to just Bub now, or is he still Lil Bub?
I don't know. I think Bub. I think I'm just calling him Bub.
Go with Bub, because I feel like if you just call a grown man Lil Bub, that might be...
I can't call him Lil Bub. If I ever walked up to another human being and said, "What up, Lil Bub?" I feel like I get slapped.
Yeah.
I'm calling him Bub.
Yeah. That makes sense. And Keyshawn George at 24th. Some returners: Giant Davis, Jared Butler, Patrick Bolton Jr., Tristan Vukcevic. Should be a fun team. I really like what they did in the draft, taking 3 pretty big swings across the positional spectrum.
I think they're doing fantastic work. That front office is doing fantastic work. I'm not just saying this because I'm an honorary Washington Wizards fan. I think from an outside perspective, just looking at like what they've accomplished in 2 years, you're on the right path. I thought getting, you basically, you got rid of Denny, I love Denny, but you also brought in Brogdon, who could be a fantastic asset for Carrington early on, just to kind of pick his mind. I wouldn't want a better teacher. Is he still there? He's still there. They haven't. Yeah, I haven't missed about it. Sorry, guys. I just cloudy.
What? So, and Tyus Jones still hasn't signed. I think they should bring him back, but he might.
I would do what you did with Koulibaly, which is slowly let him play. Get some. I mean, the front office has some bones that came from OKC. OKC got here because they let guys play. You let them get confidence. You don't care about your record. You want to get reps to get these guys ready for it. And you just keep playing talent. Like, let them learn from playing time. Don't just like, we'll pull them and they're not going to play again. Like, let them build some confidence. And I think that's really valuable when an organization could be patient. So I thought their draft haul was sensational. Like, I just think it's a great, they got the upside swing in Sarr. That's the defensive potential monster. Carrington's oh my gosh, if this clicks, this is a potential floor general for the future. And then, Keyshawn's like, he's probably the project of the 3, would you say? But like his one skill right now is fantastic.
The athleticism is so far off. That it's just going to take a lot of time for him to kind of adjust to that difference in terms of whether or not there's any kind of on-ball stuff there, or is he just going to be a spot-up shooter? And if he is just a spot-up shooter, he's going to be a nasty one. But
yeah, because his range is ridiculous. Yeah. I still think there's going to be some stuff that develops, and he's going to figure out a way.
He's a really smart passer. Like I would want him as that kind of second side creator, long term. But there's going to be some pretty significant hurdles for him to kind of work through. So
and he's
just a project.
He's one of those also, like when you're watching on tape, you're always like, why does he? At times, people can't get in front of him, and he's also like, if he gets a little bit on you, he's so long and lengthy that he just it's done. You can't catch up because he covers so much ground with the steps. But the first steps gotta get quicker. I love what they're doing. You get those 3 guys, you're adding Koulibaly to the mix. I love them getting Jonas for a vet to just give some muscle to Sar. Like,
and let Sar play the 4.
Yeah,
because I don't think he's ready to play a 5.
I just
And
keep playing these
doesn't want to
guys.
play 4 or play 5. So
I'm gonna be interested to see what they do with Bub. If he's ready-ish, I wonder if you just play him, or if you're playing Brogdon and letting him kind of be a little mentor. Getting rid of Brogdon at the deadline.
I would rather bring back Tyus and Brogdon and let them kind of run the show, be mentors for these guys, set guys like Koulibaly and Sar up in positions to succeed, while kind of continuing to set that culture and expectations of how to play, and not just throw guys out there, because we've seen a lot in the past that can have real detrimental effects. You still have to have some sort of veteran presence, some sort of leadership and competence, especially at the point of attack, or not point of attack, but at point guard. And when you still have guys who are still kind of raw and have some question marks on offense, like a Koulibaly, like a Sar, I think having those veterans there to make life easier for them makes a huge, huge difference early on in a career.
It makes sense. I get if you don't want to be locked into Tyus, I get it.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
And who's to say
my
that
dream
Tyus wants to return,
as a Washington Wizards fan, this would be my dream: is you either get Tyus back or you don't. You play Brogdon.
Mm-hmm.
You bring Carrington off the bench a little bit just to get some playing time, get some reps. If Carrington's right on cue, you sell Brogdon for the highest bidder, get a future asset, play Carrington the rest of the year.
I think that's asking a lot of Carrington.
I know it is, but that's why you're a rebuilding team. You're rolling the dice a little bit. If he's playing and he's good and you get to the deadline, there will be a buyer for Brogdon for the final stretch for a team that's hungry for the playoffs. But I'm saying that's my dream. I think they're in a great spot.
Yep.
Getting Tyus back would be very smart for vets. You don't want to rush young guys, but you also want to let them get some minutes and run and play.
It's a fine line
and learn.
Walk.
Yeah, but you want to have guys too that will help them. Like what? Always the vets, the successful players, always preach about the vets that were their guys when they were rookies. Like they're always like, "Oh, he's my vet. So you want to get the right guys that'll help them kind of teach a little bit. Jonas and Sar will be hilarious. So I like what they're doing.
All right, that's it. These are back-to-back episodes for us where we're almost at 2 hours. We've turned into Maxwell and Steven.
I have fun though.
This is a blast.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Vegas Summer League. Wish we could be out there. Everyone, stay safe, have fun, network like crazy. A lot of really good, smart, interesting people out there this time of year. So make connections. It was an absolute blast last year. We'll be sure to be out there next year. But
yes, we will.
Enjoy the basketball and enjoy the summer. Enjoy the Olympics. We got high school tape coming. I'll have a film school up of Steph Castle's first game or first couple games in the next day or two here. Keep an eye out for that. Go over to NoCeilingsNBA.com. Check out Rucker's super detailed, very lengthy summer league preview piece. He covered everyone. It's in there, I promise. But thank you for sticking with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and a 5-star rating. Till next time, see ya.